Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more 9-rip, continuing the Spirit Arc common, or the Spirit Realm common route, whatever. It's the common route for whatever the spirity thing. And now we got 3 boyfriends! Woo! This one's trying to kill us! Anyway, yeah, so now we are the bitch to the spirit board. We got a spirit guide who's our bitch, and then we got a pesky little god who likes to push us in front of cars following us around. So, like, it's all sorts of shenanigans. This ought to be fun. Anyway, you guys can come in now. I returned to my room and changed out of my uniform. I called out to them when I finished. You guys are gonna have to sleep on the floor. Alright, okay, alright. Every other day we'll rotate who gets to snuggle in bed with me. Yukimoto, Koharu, and the boy who called himself some kind of god. I swiftly invited them into my room. Maybe we should get the kid's name. They stood before me as if it was the most natural thing in the world, and I sighed. I know it's Toka, but still, she doesn't know that. I know it just because it's in the voice acting list, so. As I changed, I had mulled them over in my mind. I can't run from them or get rid of them, which means I need to convince them to leave. Concluding that I had to persuade each of them, I started with Yukimaro. Yukimaro, you're my guardian spirit, right? Yukimaro, guardian spirit in training. He decided to make the protagonist happy and is now following her around. He has a tendency to be pushy at times. He doesn't seem to be a bad person. He's super energetic and very loud. That sounds like me. Well, the loud part. A guardian spirit in training. My job is to make the person I serve happy. So if his goal is to make me happy, then all I have to do is feel happy. You could be like, well, you know what would make me happy is if all 3 of you left me alone forever. And also let me date Saya. Bring him back to life. Give him to me. I'm plenty satisfied with my current life. I'm happy, so please see yourself out. I spoke with confidence, but Yukimaro pointed his fan accusingly at me. No takesies backsies. Takesies backsies? Yes, I already submitted documents to the Guardian Spirit Society that you're my new master. Oh god, now there's documentation and bureaucratic red tape. Ah, fuck. We're screwed. Guardian Spirit Society. Does something like that really exist? Indeed it does. The guardian spirits have gone with the times and unionized. They're a bunch of eccentric spirits who do volunteer work because they want to make mankind happy. Guardian Spirit Society. 1. The organization Yukimaro belongs to. Spirits who wish happiness for mankind gather under this organization. Ain't none of those following me around, or mine just really sucks at their job. Thanks to Koharu's No, you know what? They don't. Because you know what? I has you, Booger Bird. I has me Birdie. And you know what? To make me happy, even when your dagger toes are digging into me and I'm like, God damn it, I hate your toes, Bird. I still love you, and you're so snuggly. He's jammed under my chin right now. You're just snugging under my chin. And you know what would I do without you? I know, you're the sunshine of my life. Don't you dare fucking move. You get right back fucking there. Put yourself right back under that chin, bitch. I love you. Even when I yell at you and tell you you're a bad bird. And even when you're a big fat asshole. You smell nice. Only bird people get that. It's weird. Anyway, thanks to Koharu's explanation, I got the general idea about why they did, but as a human, I was surprised to know that such a group existed. I reached out to them after you ran off back at the temple. That made sense. He didn't follow me because he was submitting the paperwork to be my guardian spirit. Wait a minute. What am I saying? None of this makes any sense. I was like waiting for this outburst. She's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I was like, does it though? I mean, yes and no. The whole thing made me feel so powerless, but I regained my composure and began to speak. So, why did you choose me as your master? It's not every day you see a human being stalked by a god. I figured you had to be interesting. Hearing that, I looked over at the boy. with his giant old man eyebrows. Like he had, you know what it is? You know what I think sets him apart from the other baby-faced love interests? Because he is like, he does have a little baby face. But there's something about it that's, again, it's not as baby-faced as Minami. It's slightly more baby-faced than like Hibiki, but yet he still leans more, even though we're like, he's the boy. He seems more like Hibiki. You know what I mean? Age-wise, like teenage, not like whatever. But there is something about, I think it's his eyebrows are like bushy old man eyebrows. I'm not complaining about them. I love that little fact that he's got very, very thick fucking like bushy little caterpillar eyebrows that just like, because they're like light pink, they're almost white. It's like little old man eyebrows, and there's just something about that he has like little old man baby face. You know how like sometimes little old people, you're like, look at them, they got like their little innocent little old people faces, where it's like if they didn't have wrinkles, it'd be like a baby face. And am I just all of a sudden insane? I know, not all of a sudden insane, but there's just something about it that he is like got. His baby face is old man baby face without the wrinkles. If you slapped wrinkles on him, you'd be like, look at this cute little old man face. There's just something about it, and I think it's the fucking eyebrows. And considering the fact that he's a god, like, of course he's been around fucking forever, so he should have old man vibes. So, you know, fair. Valid. I don't know if that's what they were intending, or I'm just insane. Maybe both. I'm gonna give him credit for it, though. Because I'm not ready to admit that I'm insane. Even though I know it's true, but like, isn't there something, the look on his face is like, oh yeah, I remember that whippersnapper. There's just something about the look he's giving us right now, and I seriously think it's the eyebrows. They're so thick. And again, not in a bad way. Like, they work, but they give him old man vibes, and it's bizarre. I'm okay with it. Because it takes away some of the baby face that, like, Minami suffered from, so. And you are that god? Please, you don't have to sound so shy about it. I like his pout face. Oh, and I do have a name, you know. It's Toka, so please call me that. Right. I felt kind of bad. Toka certainly didn't act like a god, so it was hard for me to see him as one. I'm always protecting and watching over you, although I give you burdens from time to time. Yeah, a lot of them, so maybe simmer the fuck down. I am so distracted by his hair, though. Like, okay, it's not even like the long back, it's the giant fucking buns are like so cool. And he's got the little flower crown thing going on the top. But then if you took the buns and then the long like veil of hair that's behind his shoulders, what you have in the front, if you got his little bangs, and then you have those like wings that look like he's gonna take off, and there's a lot going on. I don't dislike it, but there is a lot. They were like, we should give him like the little like the front pieces, the bangs parted around here. Like, we should give him that little kind of bob haircut like that. And they're like, no, but what if we gave him like wee wishy wings? And they're like, what about really big space buns? Not like thinnest space buns, but like poofy, but they're like victory rolls, but ginormous. And like, what if we gave him like a little flower crown that's like made out of rope as well? And then was like, no, but he should have like long tendrils that like go over his shoulders, like, oh, and then like a veil of hair in the back. No, and then it's like nobody could figure out what they did, so they put it all together, and this is what we got. And like, for whatever hot mess was going on in the art department when they were discussing this, it works, and I'm kind of enjoying it. But it's a lot. You can see what I'm saying, right? Like, his little front bangs is like a hairstyle all of its own. And then his whooshy, like, wings going on, and then the long veil of hair, and then the butt. It's like 6 different hairstyles. And like, but for some reason, you know how sometimes you get like 2 different hairstyles, and you're like, the fuck is this? Why? Why did you put the worst things together? When they do the jellyfish mullet. The bullet fish. The bob mullet jellyfish. You know, but they put all sorts of weird shit together here and it works, and I'm digging it. Like, I wish I could be crazy and fun like this with my hair. All of my hair combined couldn't make up one of those victory roll bum things going on. No. I have long hair, but it's very fine and delicate and, like, does nothing. Anyway. Burdens. Hey, wait a minute, you bastard. Sir, are you a Tengu? You bastard. Quite right. I am a member of the Tengu clan. Our job is to give burdens to mankind. But isn't that a bad thing? He looks so fucking self-satisfied. Well, yes. Sometimes people do refer to me as the god of pestilence, or a pest. But I take pride in my work, so no matter what they say, I don't care. Oh, what a little shit. So many impossible thoughts filled my mind, and I struggled to keep up. So a Tengu is a god who casts burdens on people, and he's been stalking me for a while now. I took a moment to look back on my life. Ever since I was a little kid, I'd had terrible luck. Yeah, okay, I really wish, I need a Yukimaru because I need him to get rid of the Tengu that's stalking me. Because, this fucker's starting to annoy me. School trips and field days were filled with rain. Every time I visited a shrine, I drew a bad fortune. Oh, and that one time, there were so many small things, but they occurred with such frequency that even I started to believe I was unlucky. So all this time, all the bad luck I've had in my life until now, that was all you? No, that's not it. Spacey, you're a rare type of person who has the tendency to invite burdens on your own. Yeah, you know what? Blaming me for you stalking me and giving me bad luck and shoving me in front of a car? Rude. As he looked at me, Toka's eyes drooped dreamily. A true child of burden. I mean, how could I not grow attached to you? I want to slap him so hard. Hearing what he said, I grew pale. In other words, because I was so unlucky, I caught the eye of the god of burdens. And so you were so unlucky that you attracted a god that delivers bad luck. That isn't funny at all. It's a little funny and tragic, and yeah. Gosh, how could I be so unlucky? Huh, but didn't the priest exorcise you? Why are you able to show up like this now? Yeah, about that. It seems I can no longer use my power on you. But despite being powerless, I'm still a god. So if me being by your side can protect you from the spirits, I'll gladly do so. Oh, I see. So you're gonna get rid of these spirits for me, right? Well, like I said earlier, I can't use any of my powers on you. Which I'm afraid means I can't drive away the spirits following you either. Just like that, my hopes were crushed. Yukimaru laughed, clearly enthused by the whole situation. I just love this. This one is so fucking ridiculous. Kind of glad they saved this one for last, and they were like, let's make it really fucking absurd. It makes sense, because, then you meet Toka for the first time, who's been following you the whole time, But then why even show up? Just wanted to get in our way. Surprisingly, Toka laughed as he slowly shook his head. My purpose was to let you two know there's a god following her. I won't get in your way. His eyes look crazy from this distance away. Don't they look possessed? It's all, pink pupil, and it's, terrifying. Listen well, if something happens to her because of what you do here, don't forget that I'm also here, watching. Oh, well now. Toka's expression, even his voice, seems to have changed. Oh, okay. Toka, a Tengu god. He has been stalking the protagonist, always watching over her. Supposedly, he appeared this time to protect her from the spirits who appeared, but he looks young, but is actually quite mature. You sure have strange stalkers. I'm almost starting to feel bad for you. That includes you too, Koharu. Koharu, the spirit of the spirit board. He appeared due to the protagonist incorrectly conducting the ritual. He's required to haunt the protagonist because of her mistake. He He is a rough way of speaking. Yeah, because he's like, God damn it, all you had to do was not take your fucking hand off the coin, jackass. So fucking busy, and now I gotta haunt you. I kept my comment to myself, unable to say it directly to his menacing face. If you feel that way, why don't you just leave? And this is different. He shut me down fast. Ugh, what am I supposed to do now? Seeing as they weren't likely to leave anytime soon, I sagged my shoulders and hung my head. Spacey, dinner's ready! Tsubasa messaged me saying she's going to be late, so let's just eat without her. Okay, I'll be right down. First things first, I should probably eat something. Then finally time for some food. Huh? Wait, come to think of it, So tell me, where's Home Master? I'm quite hungry. Let's eat something scrumptious. Absolutely not! My mom's home! She is right. You're such an impudent spirit. You should be ashamed of yourself. How am I supposed to make her happy on an empty stomach? Are you saying you're okay with her being unhappy, Mr. God? Happiness comes from within, overcoming obstacles. You're only gonna spoil her. Please stop getting in the way. No, I like the way Yukimoto thinks. I want that. Because happiness, overcoming obstacles gets fucking exhausting! Leave me alone! Jesus! Give a bitch a break. Just saying. Huh. Typical Tengu. No regard for the person you're supposed to be blessing. Koharu, too. That's it. Gang up on him. Excuse you? How dare you speak to a god with that tone? And that's right, Koharu. Watch out. This yappy little god might fill your life with burdens. Hey, whose side are you even on? Koharu's like, right now, this is a burden. So technically, he's already done it. My voice is most certainly not yappy. Yes, it is. As the spirits bickered, I sighed so deeply it felt as though it was coming from the bottom of my heart. Toka looked over at me and waved his hand as if he were shooing me away. Does this mean I should leave while I still can? It seemed like he was distracting them for me. Thank you, Toka. I silently thanked him in my mind and rushed out of my room. During dinner alone with my mom, I felt so uncomfortable as I thought about the spirits. They'd yet to show up so far. Who knows when they will, though? Is something wrong? You've been restless ever since I got home today. Oh, no, nothing. I rushed to focus on the plate before me. How can it be nothing? If you're restless, it probably means you're hiding something from me. Wait, don't tell me. My mind raced through impossible scenarios, including my mom having a sixth sense and being able to sense the spirits. When I called, not only did you not pick up, you didn't even call me back. And when I got home, you ran off as if you were trying to escape me and went straight to your room. Crap. Totally forgot she called. I'm sorry. I totally forgot you called. I felt like I had to hide it. I didn't think you'd figure it out. Did you really think that? I'm glad I bumped into Sayaka's mother. Sayaka told her mom? Your career path survey. Why didn't you tell me about it? Her words were totally unexpected, and time seemed to stop for a moment. So much has happened, I totally forgot about the survey. A different type of tension crept up my shoulders, and I gently put my chopsticks down. I need to tell her that I'm thinking about not going to Sagan University. Those thoughts echoed in my heart, but I couldn't formulate the words. Did you think that because Sagan was the only place you were considering, you didn't need to tell me? Is that it? Well, if you've already submitted it, I guess there's nothing more to discuss. I didn't submit it yet. Mom gave me a dubious look. I wanted to run away from her gaze and turned my eyes down to my plate. You see, It's already been decided, so hurry up and submit it. Wait, Sagan University isn't... Yes, I already signed you up for Sagan University's open campus. What? I looked at my mom in disbelief. Why didn't you ask me? What do you mean? We've already decided you were going into Sagan's medical program. It's true that I never specifically said no. I didn't want to go against her wishes, but that simply wasn't the case anymore. I feel bad that you went through all the trouble applying already, but I can't go. To the open campus, I mean. I don't really want to go into medicine anymore. I'm sorry it took me so long to tell you. Hey, this is the only time she's been open with her mom, like right off the bat, without having to go to hell first. Finally, I was able to tell her. It wasn't exactly the most elegant speech I'd ever made, but I was finally able to tell her. She's not gonna listen though. Is that so? Well, you may not be interested now, but I'm sure that feeling will come later. Possibly. Sure. What the? I just told her I didn't want to go. Why is she still... Why do you want me to go so much? I'd always sensed that this had something to do with my father, but I wanted to hear her say it. Well, of course it's because it's a stable job and it pays well. No, it's not a bad... It's not the best reason to pick a job, but it ain't a bad one. When I went back to school as an adult, I took computer science classes and engineering classes because I was like, computers and engineering and all that's always going to be needed, and it's a stable job and it pays well. And you know what? Wasn't the worst decision I've ever made. Was it the best one? I mean, whatever. It pays well, and I have a roof over my head. Okay, for now. Lord knows that everything keeps getting more expensive, and like, it's kind of ridiculous, but still. Anyway. I wasn't expecting her to respond that way, and so I merely blinked back at her, dumbfounded. That's it? And it also affords me time to myself, unlike being a doctor, where you're basically that forever! You don't get to go home! Until you get up like really, 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 really high, and you're like chief of shit, then you're like, I don't have to do anything but play golf! And like sign some paperwork every once in a while. But you might not understand now, but all these things are very important. But if that's what you want for me, then it doesn't have to be the medical field, right? Even if it's a job I'm interested in doing, if I get into a company that's stable, then I'm going to ask you, what is this industry you'd like to get into? Like, I don't know, because you never let me decide. I didn't have anything to say. I didn't have anything I wanted to study. I couldn't think of anything. My mom smiled. If you have nothing, then let's go to the open campus. It's for your sake. It's no use. There's a mock class and a seminar on the application test. I'm sure you'll love it. It was pointless to say anything more at this point. I'm full. I stood up and took my unfinished plate over to the sink. You haven't eaten a bite! I no longer have an appetite. I couldn't even look at my mom. I couldn't help but sound icy as I replied to her. You have to eat. If you'd rather have something light, I can whip something up. I don't want anything. I'm just tired. I'm going to my room. Usually after dinner, we'd hang out in the living room together, watching TV and talking. But today I just couldn't bring myself to do so. I swiftly walked back to my room with my head hung low. I mean, they both handled this scenario terribly. Because, like, she's being a typical teenage girl. You know what I mean? Like, you can't help it, like, when you're a teenager or whatever, getting moody, like, your mom, like, no, we're gonna do this, and you're like, ugh, fine, I'm just gonna go to my room, and, like... But you also, when you're trying to explain that you don't want to go to medical school and your mom's not listening to you, it's gonna kill your appetite and make you a little moody. You know what I mean? So, like... Did she handle it the best? No, but it's also a very valid reaction. And, like, her mom not listening to her did not handle it the best. But there's nothing wrong with being like, okay, well, if you haven't decided, why don't we still go to the open campus? Why don't we go? Why don't you experience that and see? Like, maybe it will spark an interest. And if it doesn't, then no harm done. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like the way you could present it. But... Mom is setting her thoughts, we're setting our thoughts, and there's that lack of communication of meeting in the middle of exactly that. Hey, let's go to the open campus. If you don't want to go to medical school and you haven't figured out anything else, like, that's understandable, fine. But, like, let's go. Let's just do that. Just humor me. we'll go see, and if maybe it'll spark an interest for you, and then cool. And if it doesn't, then I'll help you figure out what it is you really want to do, and we'll think of something else or whatever, But if you don't have any idea, you don't know that you hate the medical field, you just think that you don't want to, but you don't know, and go experience it, see what it's about. If, still not interested, then we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? It would be better to figure it out at the open campus, check things out, whatever, than applying for a university and going and wasting the money to go there for like a year and then hating it or dropping out. You know what I mean? So, but neither one of them will be open to the other person's perspective. So, and that's the crux of all our problems, obviously. And we'll get there at the end. We know, but anyway. Where's my food? You'd be okay with leftovers? What are you talking about? Leftovers are where the luck lies. But regardless, so this is what she was praying about at the shrine? It seems she's got a lot on her plate, and I left a lot too because I didn't eat. Sorry. Why not just let her pick her own career path? I'm afraid that's not how Spacey's mother sees it. I guess you really have stalked her for 13 years. You know the whole family dynamic, don't you? There's no better stalker than me, aside from that demon in hell. Yeah. Which, again, no reason why I shouldn't have liked Manami, or shouldn't have not liked him, but yet still not feeling it. I returned to my room and stared at my PC. Again, not nearly to be like, I hate Manami. It's like, I don't really like Manami, and if that route didn't exist. I like the route, and I like the character himself, but I think it's just because he's a little babyface character that I was just like, I was never going to fully feel it. You know what I mean? I was going to be like, not into him. But I don't know why. I still cannot place why I hated that route so much. Well, it wasn't even I hated it, as I didn't want to do it. I wasn't having any fun doing it. I was like, I don't want to be here. And it's not like, this one's a little boring and bland and nothing's happening. Because that happens sometimes. You're reading routes and you're like, nothing's really going on. It's kind of boring. That wasn't it at all. It was like, I don't want to be here. I'd rather stab myself in the eye. But I don't hate him like I hate Finn and Toma. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, fuck them. I want to light them on fire. They suck. I'm like, I just don't like Manami. Least favorite route in the game. And I mean, well, we'll see. Because like Toka right now is totally fine. He still has the babyface thing going on, but he's fine. But also, he's right now a side character in the main route and going to be the side character in the other two routes. So when we get to his, we'll see what happens. I turned to my room and stared at my PC. I sensed the three behind me, but they all seemed to understand the situation. They all remained quiet, good boys. I didn't want to say it like that, but I just couldn't stand how one-sided the conversation was with Mom. Ow. The same thoughts continued rolling over and over in my head, and I kept sighing. I searched things like career path stress and career path parents' wishes. I wondered how many people faced the same kind of stress I did. Probably a lot. I found myself desperately seeking answers. I then took out the career path survey sheet and let out a big sigh. Another one. The due date to turn in the paper was getting closer and closer. What do? I won't be able to submit it at this rate. Master, I wonder if I may have a moment. I heard Yukimaro calling out to me from behind, and so I turned around. If you don't mind my saying, I don't think you'll be able to solve this in your current state. But I have to submit this career path survey. Besides, my mom thinks I don't know what I want to do, and at this rate... My mom thinks I don't know what I want to do. Do you know what you want to do? No! So your mom's right. But as I spoke, I looked down again. All I know is I don't want to go into medicine. I heard Kaharu, who was sitting close by, sigh aloud. Hey, stalker god, you're seriously not going to help her out? She has to overcome it herself. That's how she'll grow. Talk about a serious god. Well, she's only a dog to me. I don't really care what happens to her. Oh, you're gonna change that. Although his words sounded dismissive, for some reason Koharu stood up and walked over toward me. Hey, dog, you're coming with me. What, now? His words were deliberate and came out of nowhere. Just as I hesitated, the sound of a growling stomach echoed through the room. Oh, I'm so hungry. And my stomach is growling now, too. The culprit was Yukimaro. He dove onto my bed and started to fling his arms and legs around like a child. He's kind of fucking dramatic, isn't he? Silence! You're a spirit and your stomach is growling. How despicable. Hey, dog, hurry up. Ugh! The three started to get loud again, and I stood up from my chair, unable to ignore them. Bring them food, listen to Koharu. Okay, I'm assuming. Listen to Koharu is affection points for Koharu. Bring them food would be affection points for Yukimaro, right? And we're trying to go down Yukimaro's route, so. No, it's just bring them food. Okay. Well. And we don't even make a save file there. It's just, okay. I looked over at Yukimaro and let out a sharp breath. Okay, I'll bring you guys some food. And Koharu, if you're going to complain about that, do it to Yukimaro's empty stomach. Oh, master, thank you, thank you. You truly understand me. Nothing good will come out of spoiling Yukimaro, you should know that. If it'll quiet Yukimaro down, I frankly don't care what else happens. With that, I left my room. I silently went down to the living room to survey things. Mom's not here. Maybe she's in her room. Given everything that had happened, I really didn't want to run into her. So, what are you going to feed me? Yukimaro's voice called from right behind me, and I jumped in response. You followed me. I couldn't wait. I quickly gave up trying to shoo him back to my room and quietly walked toward the kitchen. Luckily, the food I didn't eat was still on top of the counter. Mom must have left it out for me. She even wrapped it. I can warm up the food using the microwave. I wonder if he wants rice. That's when I realized, hey, so spirits can eat human food? I looked at him from the kitchen to see him waiting excitedly. Indeed, there are even spirits that steal food. Some eat the offerings left at graves or statues, too. I often used to eat those kinds of offerings. Offerings? Yukimaro, you're a guardian spirit, right? I don't know much about spirits, but are you, enshrined somewhere? Sayaka did tell me that guardian spirits were spiritual beings who made you happy, but I've never really heard of them being enshrined. Yukimaro squinted as if he were reminiscing about something from long ago. There was a time. There seemed to be a deeper meaning behind his words, but I didn't want to pry. So he used to be enshrined, but now he's a guardian spirit in training? So if you're in training, when do you become an official guardian spirit? Well, that's really up to you, Master. He pointed his fan toward me, and I couldn't help but pull away. If I make you happy, then I get promoted from in training to official. I see. So that's why I'm the key. But does that make me on-the-job training? When I finished warming the food, I put the plate and bowl of white rice in front of Yukimaro. It's just leftovers, but here you go. It smells so yummy. I graciously accept your food. He sat down in front of me and happily started digging in. I wonder, for people who can't see him, would the plate and food just be floating in the air? If Mom saw this, I was suddenly filled with worry. I'll just have to find a way to play it off if that happens. It's been a while since I had a homemade meal. I'm so happy. Anything made with so much love is a real treat for me. Made with love? My mom never expected us to cook for her. No matter how busy she was, she'd always make us dinner. This is so delicious, and such a well-balanced meal. You truly are lucky to be able to eat meals like this every day. Despite being tired from work, she even thought about how to make a healthy meal for us. And yet I told her I didn't want to eat it. I'd taken my mom's kindness for granted. I gripped my knees as the realization hit me. Maybe that was a little too obvious, huh? Huh? My words made you think of your mother, right? Yes. You said you've reached your limit, but have you considered your mother has reached hers as well? What does he mean by that? As I mulled those thoughts over in my mind, Yukimaru pushed the plate over to me. Your mother's right. You need to eat. Yukimaru smiled, and I couldn't help but smile back. In that case, do you mind if I have a few bites of your food, Yukimaru? Yes, of course. Nothing's better than sharing a meal with someone. I brought a pair of chopsticks over and took a bite of the food that Yukimaru offered. A delicious and gentle flavor spread through my mouth, making my heart feel warm. You're right, it's delicious. Now that's a beautiful smile. I feel like that smile alone is enough to fill me up. I never thought a spirit would cheer me up. Well, he is a spirit that's supposed to make you happy, so... But having spent some time together with these spirits, I felt I was starting to understand them. He doesn't seem like a bad spirit. Seeing his smile, I found myself thinking kindly of him. Oh, look, she's getting a crush on him. Oh, look at his cute little Kita sandals. It sure does fill me with relief to see her eating while looking so content. Earlier, she had seemed so dejected. It was nice to see her looking happy. As I stared at her, she suddenly looked bashfully up at me. Could you not stare so much? It's kind of hard to eat with you doing that. Well, you're just gonna have to endure it. I've got to replenish my nutrients too, you know. Replenish your nutrients? Your smile, master. It's like nourishment for me. In that case, I'd rather you just eat. She still doesn't get it. Her smile is like no other form of nutrition. I wish she'd smile even more. I wish it from the bottom of my heart. So that's kind of interesting, and I don't know if that's like something they just added in the game, or if that's standard guardian spirit who are supposed to make you happy lore. I don't know. But like the fact that like you smiling is an indicator that you're happy. So you smiling is, because you are happy in some way. You know what I mean? It could be a little happiness, could be a giant happiness. But your smile nourishes him because he's a spirit whose goal is to make you happy. So you are giving him nourishment by smiling, and so it's like a little cycle. Like, I make you happy, you smile, it makes me feel nourished and stronger, and then I make you, and it's like a little, and it's kind of cute. I like it. As a guardian spirit in training, I've made so many mistakes, and nothing really had gone well up until now. But I feel like her and I are a good match. No, I know we're a good match. Yeah, because we're totally going to fall in love with you, so I get you there. I look forward to serving you even more. Where did that come from? She stared back at me, visibly confused by my declaration. This is only the beginning. Where do you think you're going? After I returned to my room, I took the career path survey that was sitting on top of my desk. What should I do about this? I muttered to myself and quickly got an answer. Okay, sorry. Just don't do it. Hold on, you gotta go potties. You're getting a little fidgety. And I put my knees up and now you're like, instead of sleeping. All right, hold on. Let's get you to your spots. Everybody knows we gotta do this every once in a while. We gotta cater to the pampered boy. Cater to the pampered boy. There you go, you gotta go. Oh, he says a good baby bird. You're not baby bird, I know. He's like, I'm not the baby bird. The baby bird died a long time ago. I know, you're not the baby bird. But you're a bird who's my baby. You're my baby bird. 'Cause your big sister's name was Baby Bird. When we got you, you had the baby bird who was your big sister. And then you had Tiny Bird. It gets very confusing. Baby Bird never had another name, though, because she was born hatched from an egg. Accidental. It was an accident. They had a bunch of parakeets, and 2 of them laid eggs, and then Baby Bird was born. And I was just going to wait for her feathers to grow and to see, what color she was going to be like, what are we going to name her? And she just became Baby Bird. 11 years of being Baby Bird. And then after she died, we adopted Falcon, who came from Auntie Michelle. Came from your auntie's house. My sister had a bird, but nobody played with him. So she's like, he'd probably be happier with you, you know, because then you have a bird friend. And he hated me at first. He did. I know. He hated me. It's okay. I didn't like him at first either. I was like, God, this bird's an asshole. But then we found peace together, and he was a good boy. He was a good boy. He was just angry from being rehomed for the third time in his little life. I know. And he died earlier this year, so you don't even have your tiny bird friend. His name was Falcon, but we kept calling him Tiny Bird. So we've had a baby bird and a tiny bird, and you're a big fat asshole bird. You are. Look at you. He's like, pet me, and then I'm going to bite you really hard. Just very mean. Just very mean. Just very aggressive. Ow! See, that's why I don't want to pet you. That's why I don't want to pet you. You're mean. If I cry, are you going to... He's like, when you're sad and you cry, I do. I snuggle with you because I know that my mommy is sad. But right now, he's like, not buying it. He's like, I'm not buying it. Bullshit. Anyway. Koharu told us not to do it. Okay. I turned around to see the three of them there. Oh, finally a good piece of advice from Koharu. Tell me, have you become empathetic to her now that you understand her circumstances? That's not it. It's just annoying seeing her all stressed out over this. This is making my haunting real depressing, which irritates me. Hearing Koharu put it in such selfish terms, it irritated me, too. He doesn't even know what I'm going through. Even if he's intimidating, I couldn't stay quiet about this. This is about me, so please don't meddle. You know he, like, is all gruff and everything, but, you know, like, I'm already prepared that he's gonna be a big-ass fucking marshmallow. I spoke clearly and harshly, and for some reason Koharu returned my words with a smile. You sure got a mouth on you. Look, if you can be that frank with me, then... Master, if this is bringing so much stress, perhaps you should find a way to take your mind off it. That's what you meant, yes? Stop trying to speak for me. Take my mind off this? So I should just try and escape? Not fully understanding what he was trying to say, I cocked my head in response. What I'm trying to say is why bother trying to rack that tiny brain of yours when you can just use your mouth? Master, spending your time thinking in this stressed-out state is merely a waste of your precious intellect. All you have to do is ask for an extension. By asking for an extension, you'll buy yourself valuable time. Perhaps in that time a good idea will come to you. Will you stop playing interpreter already? I've known you for a while now, Koharu. I must say you're far too critical when you speak to others. It's one of your worst traits. I hadn't even thought of that. I've been trying to run away from reality for so long I was unable to see the whole big picture anymore. That's why I couldn't even come up with an option to talk to my teacher about. Koharu took a step forward and gave me a stern look. And this is an order. Go ask for an extension when you go to school tomorrow. You have no right to say no. A dog has no choice but to obey its master. You know, did you hear that? Dogs obey their master. Birds should obey their master too. And he's like, oh, you pointing at me? Oh, you want to pet me? Okay. I was pointing at you to make a point, and now you're just itching your head on my finger, and then you're biting me. That's not bad, dog. He's like, I'm not a dog. But you're like a dog. I own you. He's like, bullshit. Birds own people. You picked me. He's like, I said, I looked at you at that pet store and went, you are taking me home, human. And then I took you home, and now you own me. You're very aggressive and mean right now. You're very grouchy. You're very, very grouchy. You're very nasty bird. You're very mean. You got no reason to be this mean. You know that. The only reason to be this mean is trimming your toenails, so I'm going to make sure. Then you're going to be mean. I'm going to wrap you in a blanket and trim those damn toenails of yours. I keep threatening this. One of these days, Neelix, snip, snip, get those toenails. Actually, be more like, file. I can't say pow, right in the kisser. One of these days, Alice, pow, right in the kisser. I'm not going to do that to you. You're very tiny. You're so bitey and mean. And then he's like, the second you stop trying to, like, pet me, like, I just want to grab you and squeeze you. Because you're cute. Not because you're cute. Aggression is real. Anyway. He spoke forcefully, yet there was a certain warmth in his words. See, when you're snugging under my chin, I don't have you're just being quiet and silent and adorable, and then you're not distracting me. If it's an order, you have to listen. If you say no, who knows what will happen to you? Ah, how terribly frightful. He said the words with such dramatic flair, I couldn't help but giggle. You're right. I guess I have no choice but to do as you say. Hearing my words, Koharu smiled. However, he seemed to notice me watching, and his expression returned to his usual scowl. So adorable. He's like, yeah. I mean, I'm angry. Koharu, why are you giving me so much advice? He scratched his head and looked away. Like I said, if you're so glum all the time, it's no fun haunting you. His cheeks flushed red with embarrassment. Aww. So even if I thank him, that makes him blush? In that case, then I have no choice but to comply, Koharu. He smiled faintly. I'm getting sleepy. Well, I suppose we can't sleep in the same room. Why don't we all see ourselves out? Indeed. I had no idea how exhausting dealing with humans could be. I didn't know how spirits slept. Just as they were about to leave, Toka, who had been quiet this whole time, glided toward me. Good night. I'll erase my aura while you sleep, but I'll be watching over you regardless. Wait, does that mean he's gonna stay? I won't be able to sleep like that. Toka, please rest somewhere else. I chose my words carefully, but he returned my pleas with a serious gaze. I won't be by your side, but trust me, this is the only way to protect you from your dreams. So please, sleep well. My dreams? Yeah, 'cause Manami. I didn't know what he meant by that, but as long as he wasn't literally there with me, I'd be okay. Thank you. After hearing him say he'd protect me, it felt only right to thank him. After they left my room, I got ready for bed and climbed in. Finally, I let out a big sigh of relief. See, and that's what sucks about having a twin bed. You got a queen-size bed, it's gonna be a tight squeeze, but we could all get in there. So much had happened that day. Yukimaro, Koharu, and even Toka. Yet despite how terrible my initial reaction to them was, I felt having them around relieved the panic I was feeling in my heart. Guess they're not such bad people after all. I can't wait. I mean, they've actually been pretty good so far at not causing shenanigans when I'm with my mom or anything, so they seem to know. They're not like, whatever, we'll talk to you, knock things over, make a ruckus, make you talk to us when other people are around so you look crazy. Like a ghost would. So they're like, no, we know, we got it. But, I'm just kind of wondering what kind of shenanigans they're going to get up to if we take them to school with us. Well, I guess they're not really people, huh? They might have once been. I laughed wryly and turned off the lights. Felt like I could get a good night's sleep. Immediately after thinking that, I fell asleep. It's not really nice that you bite me for no reason. Not very nice. Chapter 2. Smirk. I'm kidding. I was like, whoosh, bring my hand up and stick it right by the bird. I not beat you. I only threaten to beat you sometimes, but ow, I beat you now, you bit. You know what? I don't want to snuggle you anymore. Go away. The next day, I finished getting ready and mustered the courage to go down to the living room. I think Mom has an early shift today, so she's probably not home anymore. Just as I anticipated, she wasn't there. Instead, I found my older sister waiting for me in the living room. Morning! What are you just standing there for? Hurry up and eat breakfast. Oh, right, morning! I knew it wasn't something to bring up first thing in the morning. I felt relieved knowing I'd talk to my mom later that night. Oh, there's only enough rice left for you, so when you're done, can you turn the rice cooker off? Got it. I scooped the rice into my bowl and turned off the switch on the cooker. Master, that anime, what is it? Hey, what is he doing? My sister's still here. I glanced toward the TV to see that it was playing a morning kids anime. I checked to make sure my sister wasn't in earshot and whispered to Yukimaro. I'd be like, oh, you're watching whatever, It's an anime called Tonodomaru. Oh, I see. Tonodomaru, huh? Yukimaro walked off, sat in front of the TV, and started to watch the anime, completely engrossed. I guess he likes anime. Yo, guardian spirit, how about you do your job? He's right. What are you even doing here? Before I knew it, Koharu and Toka had also entered the living room. Ah, welcome to the circus. Toka seemed angry with Yukimaro, but took a seat on the couch next to him. What's this anime called? Seriously? You're a god and you don't know what goes on in the world? How embarrassing. I don't have time to watch anime. I'm a very busy god, I'll have you know. If he's been following me, you'd think he'd know shit, because, I probably have watched this. Very well, I shall educate you. This is a very famous anime called Tonodamaru. Tonodamaru? Well, it does look quite interesting. And you said it's famous? This is so dumb. Yeah, but that's what's fun about it. Truly, I knew I shouldn't have let them distract me. I sat at the table ignoring them so that I could leave the house eventually. I'll be sure to eat everything today. Although I still have awkward feelings toward my mom, those feelings didn't change the fact that I appreciated her. Thanks for the food. It's tamagoyaki. I love my mom's rolled omelets. I took a bite. This tastes a little different than usual. As I chewed, an unfamiliar flavor spread through my mouth, making me tilt my head in confusion. You thought so too? Yeah, Mom made this, right? Well, neither you nor I made it, so it must have been Mom. It tastes different than usual, but it's really, really good. Right? I was surprised at first, but it's pretty damn good. Oh my god, which one of these chuckle fucks actually came down and cooked breakfast? And our mom was like, oh my god, my kids cooked breakfast for me. My sister happily took another bite. Seeing she was in a good mood, I decided to ask her about work. Are you going to be late again tonight? Probably. The project I'm working on's been quite demanding. Oh, the new display for your shop, right? How's that coming along? I've been consulting with the manager and trying different approaches. I knew it'd be hard, but not this hard. Her voice was bright, despite her words. It's obvious how much fun and satisfaction she takes from her work. Listening to her talk about work like this filled me with a mix of envy and excitement. I always enjoyed hearing about the project she was working on. Or stories about how her job was going. You have plans today or something? Oh, no, nothing like that. I quickly shook my head and she shot me a skeptical look. What? Something wrong with my hair? I tried to play it off with a smile, but my sister slumped her shoulders. Okay, enough trying to play it off. You know how long I've been your sister, right? Something happened, huh? I realized there was no point trying to hide it. I decided to be honest with her. I got into an argument with Mom over my career path survey, but don't worry, I'll talk it over with her tonight. I tried to sound upbeat, but my sister put down her chopsticks, suddenly looking very serious. I knew it. You don't want to go to Sagan University, do you? Yeah, but I haven't exactly found out what I want to do either. That's why I want to talk with Mom and find a path that's right for me. Together. I see. I butted heads with Mom at your age, too. Yeah, I remember. Things were tense when my sister decided that she wanted to do the job she was doing now. But my sister never gave up and continued to push, and eventually Mom came around. Seemed hard back then, but I didn't think it would be this tough. Sorry I put this burden on you. I had a feeling she'd say that to me. Ever since she decided to go into fashion, the pressure Mom put on me only increased. I'm sure she feels some guilt about it. But it's not your fault. This was bound to happen one day anyway. Also, it's not your fault that your mother was trying to pressure you to go to college for medical school. Into medicine. Okay, whatever. That came out weird. But, it wasn't, And then you wanting to follow your own path. And it's not your fault that then her mother is like, all right, I'm going to force my other daughter and be harder on her. That's on your mom. That's on Mom here, okay, I know, but just like you dealt with it, I'll do my best to overcome it too. So please don't worry. I wasn't trying to act tough or make her feel better. I truly meant it. This is my issue after all, which means I have to be the one to deal with it. But, no buts. This is my problem. You don't have to worry about it, Tsubasa. But on days when I need help, just promise me you'll be there, okay? With that, my sister gave an apologetic smile. Some older sister I am. Sorry. Apologize again, and I'm taking your omelet. Hell no! All right, I'll stay quiet. Then eat up. You really are. Oh, I love you so much. Oh, my little sister's all grown up, but that won't stop me from babying you now. As we played around, her apologetic smile turned into a genuine one. I'm glad she's back to her old self. After seeing how much she had to struggle with my mom to fight for her own career, I didn't want her to get involved with mine. If she's going to be late tonight, then I'll just have to talk with Mom on my own. I was nervous, but I knew it was my problem to overcome. Oh, look at the time! I'll clean up. You go on ahead. Thank you. You're a lifesaver. See you later. Later. I should head out soon, too. I finished breakfast and started cleaning up. I know we're a little under time, but that was a transition. All right, maybe we'll get another transition on our way to school. We'll keep going for a minute. All right, guess it's time to head out. I walked to the sofa where Toka and Yukimaru were still watching TV. Koharu, on the other hand, was nowhere to be found. I have to head to school soon, so I need to turn off the TV. No, don't take away my TV. He can't be helped. Humans have electricity bills to think about. You can't pay for that now, can you, Yukimaru? Yukimaru hung his head low. I didn't know he liked TV that much. I'll record it. That way you can watch it later. Yukimaru's face brightened. He's so easy to please. He is adorable. I would absolutely just let him watch fucking TV all damn day. I mean, I work from home, so it ain't like I'm saving electricity. You're truly the best. I'll wait here until you finish school. What do you mean, wait here? Yukimaru, we both have a job to do. You say that, but it's not like I can follow her to school. I'll just have to kill time here until her classes end. He's not coming to school? She seems like she's like, instead of being like, I don't know if she's like, he's not coming to school or he's not coming to school? Like, because there's an exclamation. Okay, he's not coming to school? Relief washed over me. Okay, that's what I'm like. That's the way it should have been. Okay. All right, cool. So, I'll stop here then. All right, anyway, because I'm starving. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.